Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Hakuouki Zuisoroku, the fan disc material from the first game, or the extras added to the PS3 version, the stories of the Shinsengumi. Today we are on Heisuke Todo's videos, parts 2 and 3. I think, as long as part 2 isn't too terribly long. So, Memories of Love, Todo 2. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. January 1867. After waking up to a snowy compound, the protagonist finds herself pressed into service in a snowball fight with Todo, Nagakura, and Harada. Well, I can guess how those teams are going to be divided up. She has a great time, but as the fight comes to an end, Todo says he has something to ask her. What would that be?
Chizuru! Damn it! What the hell are you doing here?
Trying to help. Unsuccessfully, apparently. Blood dripped from his forehead. The enemy he was fighting was a terrible one. Even I could see that. Aw, don't call Amagiri terrible. He was great. I love Amagiri. Suddenly, Heisuke seemed very far away from me. This was a part of him I'd never seen, never even guessed at before. Heisuke, always so friendly and carefree, was a warrior just like the rest, prepared to fight and die when the order was given. Behind that innocent, childlike exterior. July 1864. The Shinsengumi raided a secret imperialist meeting. In what would later be called the Battle of Ikeda Inn, Heisuke suffered a serious injury in a fight with a powerful man who called himself a demon. Every time I thought back to that night, I felt the chill touch of fear. I knew that if there was even the smallest chance of victory, he would fight, no matter the cost to himself. I was afraid that one day the cost would be too high, and he would be gone. But despite my worries, time marched on. Sanan drank the water of life and became a fury. As a result, the Shinsengumi moved out of the Yagi estate and into the Nishihonwaji temple. January 1867. Winter came, and still my thoughts refused to calm themselves. Unconcerned with my turmoil, however, life continued around me. Then one cold winter day... Snowball fight! Memories of Love, Part 2. No Snow Bunny this time. I think that was my favorite winter memory, Snow Bunny. January 1867. My breath made small white clouds in my room as I dressed, shivering the whole time. It seems especially cold today. I mean, the temple's always pretty cold, but today seems different. There might be ice on the pond today. Better bundle up or you'll catch cold, Chizuru. Talking to yourself? I rubbed my hands together and blew on them in a small attempt to warm my frozen fingers. Then I heard someone outside my door, and when they spoke it was with such energy that for a moment I forgot about the cold completely.
Chizuru! Chizuru! Are you awake?
I recognized that voice. Good morning, Heisuke. Why are you so excited? Did something happen? Snow!
Oh man, it's nuts! Come on, you have to see this!
What?
Just come here, it's outside!
He grabbed my hand and I stumbled after him. Man, he really needs some clothes because that's not something to be wearing in the snow. The light was bright and the air was cold, and my eyes snapped shut against both instinctively.
See? Isn't it pretty?
My eyes! I'm blind! I slowly opened them again. Oh, wow!
Right? It's amazing! It wasn't snowing last night.
You're right, this is incredible. How could so much snow fall all in one night? It happens. It was the same temple courtyard I'd grown used to seeing every day, but now it looked like an entirely different world. Amidst the snow were a few other familiar things. Good morning. Did you just call the guys things?
Hey, there you are. Sure is a lot of it, right? My hands are freezing, though.
All you guys need more clothes for this snow.
Well, you know what they say, cold hands, warm heart. Although, it's not like the ladies even know what this guy's hands are like.
Who are you to talk, Shinpachi? Nagakura jerked his head at Heisuke with a grin. Heisuke scowled. That's 'cause he's only got eyes for one person.
That's just 'cause I'm a gentleman. Besides, Shin, you're practically half naked. Put something on.
You're one to talk. Pot calling the kettle black.
Forget it, kid. He went into discretion if it bit him in the ass. Besides, he just never gets sick.
That's their way of saying he's stupid because the Japanese say the stupid never get sick.
Still, I feel cold just looking at him. Can't you, like, put on a jacket or something, Shin?
And deny the world all this just because it's cold? That hardly seems fair.
I think I kind of agree with Shinpachi. I like looking at him like that.
Besides, look at Sano. How's he any different? Right, back me up here, Chizuru.
How's Heisuke any different? All you guys need more clothes. I tried to laugh it off. That wasn't an argument I wanted to be part of. To be honest, though, none of them were what I would have called dressed for the weather, although looking at them didn't make me feel cold per se. Well, yeah, I guess she has a point. Looking at them all half-dressed, doesn't exactly make me feel cold either. Anyway, look at all this snow. There's so much.
Right? Don't you just want to go play in it?
Well, I don't think we have enough snow to make a fort. Do you want to make snow bunnies? No, that's exclusive for Saito.
Whoa, no way. That's kid stuff. We're men. Looks bad if we play kids games,
I don't know about that, but I know I'd probably die laughing if I saw Shinpachi making a snow bunny. Then, what should we do?
Isn't it obvious?
Almost in unison, they bent down, began to dig in the snow, and... Oh, wait! A snowball fight?
Exactly. We already made teams before I went and got you. You're with me.
Why the two little ones against the two big ones? That's not fair. I know he's a pretty weak excuse for a partner, but that's the luck of the draw. Sorry, kid.
Hey, just you watch. As long as I'm here, you guys won't get a single hit on her. Just leave it to me, Chizuru. I'll protect you.
I don't know, man. These two guys are pretty good. They look excited to begin, but... if I leave my room to go play, Hijikata's gonna get mad. No, this isn't playing. This is training. Oh, what an excuse. What? I'm sure that'll fly over real well.
See, you gotta dodge the snowballs, and that trains your reflexes and eye-hand coordination. Doesn't that sound convincing?
It had, right up until he asked if it did.
Come on, he's not gonna get mad over this. I promise it'll be fun.
I wouldn't count on him not getting mad. Okay, I guess a few minutes couldn't hurt. After all, it wasn't every day the snow fell that thick, so I wanted to make the best of it. I dug my own hands into the snow and started to pack some projectiles of my own. Before long... Getting serious about it, probably.
Yeah.
I felt a snowball fly through the air near me, barely grazing my arm. Hey, I wasn't ready! I picked up some of mine and threw it back, but it was no match for them. For each snowball I threw, they returned 5 or 6. Geez, they're fast. And every single one was aimed at Heisuke. Of course, the guy wouldn't aim at poor little Chizuru. Oh no!
Ah!
Man, they got him good on that one. Are you hurt? He's blind.
Just my pride. Hey, guys, how come you're only throwing them at me?
I think that's obvious. Oh, really? So you're saying we should try and hit her instead?
Well, we wouldn't want to hurt your feelings. Sorry, Chizuru. I didn't think he was that heartless.
Hey, no, hold on. Don't do that.
I don't think a couple snowballs are really going to hurt me. Well, the way they throw them, it could.
No, I couldn't live with myself. Alright, I take back my complaint. Hit me with everything you got. Your arms are so weak, I wouldn't feel it even if you hit me in the butt. Ah! Ow! You put rocks in these, didn't you?
Hey, that's a serious accusation. Although, given how hard Shin packs them, I guess they're probably kind of like rocks, huh? Gosh, you don't have to take it so seriously. Look who you're talking to! You know how competitive these guys are? I lobbed the snowball at them in protest, but they dodged it easily. This is so frustrating! But they were only getting started. Heisuke had been backed up against a tree by a barrage of snowfire. He seemed to have given up on actually fighting back, and was instead wielding a long icicle like a sword, and cutting down the snowballs that came his way. He really is training. Could this altercation really still call itself a snowball fight? Well, in a sense.
Damn, I thought you'd have given up by now.
You've been a worthy opponent, Heisuke Toto, but this ends now. Uh-oh. What do they have planned?
Hey, what are you doing? Are you making fun of me?
He was right. Their throws seemed to be shooting awfully wide off the mark. Not a single one even came near Heisuke. They all seemed to be hitting the tree behind him. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh no. Heisuke, move! But it was too late. Ah, yep. The tree. All the snow on the tree. He looked up just as the now overloaded branches released their burden. Heisuke? Heisuke? Heisuke! Oh, come on, it's not exactly an avalanche. Get him inside and wrap him up in a few blankets, I guess. He crawled out from under the snow, ready to continue, but at that moment, Hijikata appeared. He was not pleased. It seemed errant snowballs had put holes in several of the sliding doors. Oh, you guys were not careful at all. Harada and Nagakura took the lion's share of the blame, and the fight was ended then and there. His adventure had left Heisuke soaked from top to bottom. Fortunately, I had a fire in my room, over which he was drying his hair.
Oh man, it's cold.
Stop moving. You're going to catch cold if you run off with wet hair. His hair was much longer than mine. It was going to take a while for it to dry. As I wiped it carefully with a towel, he smiled a little bit. I didn't even think he realized he was doing it.
I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
What?
I mean, they never did throw any at you, so you were fine, but I said I was going to keep you safe, but if they decided to target you, I don't think I could have done anything. Today was a lost battle in every sense.
That's why you must train, young grasshopper. He seemed so sad. I have to say, sorry I couldn't help you out. No, it's my fault. I should have had your back. If I'd done better, then maybe we could have beaten them. I need to train too.
Dang, you're even more of a rebel than I thought.
He smiled.
Alright, yeah. Let's just say that we both don't have the snowball skills we could. But, if we get the chance, we should pair up for the next snowball fight.
Might as well, I suppose. Yeah, next time we'll win.
Yeah, next time.
He looked at me for a long moment, and I saw his face fall. What?
Chizuru?
What is it?
I had this friend, and he has something he really believes in, and he knows what he's got to do to get there. But in order to do that, sometimes he has to, get rid of people who get in his way, whoever they might be. What would you do?
For a moment, I just stared at him. The question had been so unexpected, I wasn't sure what to make of it. But it didn't take me long to realize that whatever had prompted the question, it meant a great deal to Heisuke. I chose my words very carefully. I think it's wrong to, get rid of someone just because they're in the way, or because they don't see eye to eye with you. Well, at least that's what I would have said.
Would have?
You know, before. After spending so much time with Shinsengumi, I think I'm starting to get it. They're all doing what they do because they believe in what they're fighting for. And the guys on the other side feel the same way. It's not about who's good or who's bad. There are just some people in the world that you're never going to be able to get along with. Of course, I still can't really get behind actually killing people, but...
Yeah, you're right. If we could all understand each other, then we'd never have to fight, huh?
A samurai is someone who follows the path he thinks is the right one, isn't it? Isn't that how it works? I don't think it's bad to fight for what you believed in.
Huh. I'm glad I asked you. I wasn't sure if what I believed in was really worth, well, everything. To be honest, I'm still not sure.
His voice faded out as he looked down into the glowing coals.
But you helped me get a little closer, I think. I'm going to follow the path that I think is the right one.
Heisuke? He looked at me and smiled, but behind the smile I could see the doubts and sadness and confusion. There was something almost beautiful about it. But it broke my heart. Being a warrior and a member of the Shinsengumi was very important to Heisuke, but I sensed that there was something else going on that had thrown him into turmoil. I didn't know what, but it seemed clear that whatever else he intended to do, it would involve following the path of the warrior, perhaps to his death. Maybe that was to be expected, but that didn't change the fact that I hoped he would live. We sat there for several more minutes in silence. A few months later, I learned what his question was about. On the day that Heisuke decided to leave the Shinsengumi to join Ito. That's what I was afraid it was about. Thought it was about that time, but I wasn't sure. Well, it may be a long video, but we're gonna go head on to Toudou Memories of Love 3. October 1867. Ever since Ito split from the Shinsengumi and took Toudou with him, the protagonist has had difficulty being happy. One day, Yamazaki and Shimada ask for her help on an intelligence mission and take her downtown to a tea shop. While on surveillance, someone appears. Wonder who that could be.
The Emperor, the Shogun. Who's right, who's wrong? I don't think we'll really know who has the right idea until it's all over.
And maybe not even then. Just because somebody wins doesn't mean they're right. I never could forget the look on his face as he gazed up at the clear spring sky. The Shinsengumi had always leaned toward loyalism, but Heisuke identified with the imperial nationalists, leading to some differences of ideology. It was this conflict that eventually led him to leave and join the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. I would still miss him terribly, but now that I knew his reasons for leaving, I couldn't bring myself to try and stop him. He was doing what he felt he had to. Why couldn't I go with him? I guess Ito wouldn't want to take a demon. April 1867. Ito had discovered the secret of the Furies and requested that he be allowed to leave the Shinsengumi. A number of men accompanied him with his exodus and formed what became known as the Guardians of the Imperial Tomb. Heisuke was among the warriors who chose to follow Ito's banner. The Shinsengumi and the Guardians were forbidden to interact with one another. But when the headquarters came under demon attack and I was abducted, Heisuke heard my cries and came to my rescue. That daring rescue was the last time I saw him. But even that short time together had cheered me. The Shinsengumi moved again, this time from Nishihongonji to Furodo village. There they began anew, as if Ito and his followers had never existed. October 1867. Heisuke had chosen his path in life. But every day I thought about what might have become of him. Memories of Love, Part 3. October 1867. Heisuke, why'd you have to go off with Ito? He's such a jerk. It had been half a year since Heisuke's departure. The demons, the Furies, my father, so much had happened in that time. But whenever I had time to myself, my thoughts would drift invariably to Heisuke. I wonder how he's doing. Every time we ate together, I couldn't help but notice that he wasn't there. I didn't hear his voice chime in every time Nagakura and Harada were talking to each other. Everywhere I went were holes in my world that Heisuke had once filled. You know, when I got here, he was the first person that was nice to me. I had been taken to the Shinsengumi headquarters under threat of violence, knowing I might be killed at any time. Many times during those first few days, Heisuke's kind, approachable smile had comforted me. When I let my mind wander, it was easy to think that he was still with us. That he could step through the door, smile, and... What? Hey!
Oh, Yukimura, you're here.
Oh, Shimada? Yamazaki?
Is something the matter? I told you during breakfast that we would need to speak with you later.
Oh, yes, right, of course. What was it you needed to talk about?
We're currently gathering intelligence on the commander's orders. We need your help.
What? But if he has you working on it, then this means it's a mission for the Watch, right? What could I possibly do for the Watch?
Actually, this mission is something only you can do. I have special approval from the commander to request your help. I won't twist your arm, but I would appreciate your assistance.
Something only I could do. I couldn't imagine what kind of mission that might be, but it wasn't very often that someone asked for my help. Sure, whatever you need. This'll be fun. Get out of the compound. Do some work. They led me to Kondo's second home. Kondo had a second home? According to Yamazaki, they used it from time to time to change into undercover garments. So I guess you're doing something where people can't know that we're from the Shinsengumi. Covert operations. I took the clothes they handed me. Oh, it's been a long time since I wore anything like this. Girls' clothes? Do I look weird?
No, it suits you. You look like a girl you might find in the city.
Heisuke will be happy to see this. They had given me a woman's kimono. It wasn't particularly eye-catching, but it felt like silk. I had a feeling it was rather expensive. Did you guys buy this just for me for this? It fits perfectly. No one would think you weren't a normal girl. I see. Thank you? I had a feeling they meant well, but it was very odd praise. Had they forgotten that I actually was a girl? Maybe they have. Is something wrong? We've arrived. Oh, right. So, this is it? Isn't this just a normal tea house?
Yes, your job is to stand here as a lookout. Act normal.
Okay. So you just want me to stand here? And wait for Heisuke? Yes. The rest you should be able to figure out as it happens. For now, just act naturally.
We'll be watching from nearby. Feel free to order some food and relax.
Before I could respond, they turned and walked off. Okay, are they actually setting up a date for me and Heisuke? Act normal? I'd never been given such a command, in all the time I'd been in Kyoto. I ordered some tea and dumplings and sat down. So, I'm just supposed to figure it out. Figure what out? Were some important people from the Satsuma and Choshu clans coming here to meet in secret? I was still trying to puzzle out what I was supposed to do next when...
Yeah, you don't have to tell me. I'm not going to betray Ito.
That's all well and good, but there are a few of us who think maybe Kojo's little boy is actually a spy. Don't forget that.
I told you, I get it. If that's all you had to say, then get out of here.
I turned toward the voices and swallowed. There was the face that had appeared in my mind every day for the past 6 months. Hey! I stopped myself halfway through. The Shinsengumi and the guard were strictly forbidden from talking to one another. But I'm not the Shinsengumi. If anyone caught me, Heisuke and I would both be in a great deal of trouble. So I turned back, away from them, but as I did, Heisuke himself sat down next to me.
Damn it. Jerks. Won't even let me drink tea in peace. What's wrong, ma'am? You look like you aren't feeling well.
You don't recognize me. I looked away quickly, hoping he wouldn't recognize me. Oh no, I'm fine. Nothing wrong.
What's up with you? Am I really that scary?
His face was so confused and worried that I couldn't stop a snort of laughter from escaping through my hands.
Wait, did you just laugh at me? Rude. You just met me and... You.
Yes, me.
Wait. You.
Is something wrong? His eyes widened, and then I saw realization dawn on his face.
Oh, sorry. I was just stunned by your beautiful face. Never mind.
Again with the blush and looking away. I just can't get over the blushing. Thank you. You're a real flatterer.
Hey, that wasn't flattery. Sorry, that's a weird thing to say to someone you just met.
Oh, come on. Everybody likes to get compliments.
I see. Well, that's good then. Sorry for being weird.
I saw my name on his lips, but he didn't speak it. There was no way to know who was listening, and since we weren't allowed to meet, we couldn't risk revealing that we actually knew who the other was. So what are we doing here exactly? After a short, awkward silence, Heisuke spoke.
So, you come here often?
Great line. Oh, no. This is my first time. How about you?
Well, I've been coming here a lot these days. Don't really feel like drinking in Shimbara. Besides, if it means I get to bump into young ladies, I could deal with drinking tea instead of sake.
Maybe if I hadn't met him through the Shinsengumi, we could have met like this. Two strangers who meet in the tea house by chance. To anyone else, that was how we look. You're right. I guess meeting here is some kind of fate, sir.
Huh? Hey, come on. You don't need to be all formal. I mean, we're about the same age, right?
Really? Okay, I guess we can do that.
Yeah, that's better. Easier that way, you know? Anyway, you should drink, or your tea's gonna get cold. Oh, try the glazed ones. They go really good with the tea.
Oh, you're right. It's sweet, and then the sour of the tea. This is delicious.
See? Here, let me buy you another one.
It had been a long time since I'd spoken with Heisuke. Unfortunately, we had to watch what we said very carefully, which limited us mostly to talk on the food or the weather. He was close enough to touch, but the wall that had sprung up between the Shinsengumi and the guards still stood between us. It's starting to get chilly now that it's autumn. Are you doing all right? Any colds or anything?
Hey, if I'm good at one thing, it's being tough. How about you? You doing okay? You look pretty healthy. Everything else all right?
I'm fine. Don't want to make him worried, right? Yeah, I'm fine. I mean, it's not like every day is fun all the time, and things are hard every so often, but... My voice caught in my throat. I still had the demons and furies to worry about, and still there was no word from my father. But I didn't want to worry Heisuke, so instead I simply smiled. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty tough too.
I see. Well, if you say so, then I'm sure you're fine.
Take my word for it.
Take care though, okay? It's dangerous out there these days.
There was something in his expression that told me he'd seen through my lie. But even if he had, he chose not to call my bluff and smiled instead. We kept talking after that. By the time we'd finished our tea, it was already late afternoon. One of us said they had to go, although I couldn't remember which one.
I wish we could talk longer.
Yeah.
I don't really know how to say goodbye after something like this.
He seemed reluctant to stand up. To the outside world, we were supposed to be two strangers who just happened to meet. We weren't even supposed to know one another's names. Then shouldn't we learn each other's names and make a date, if this really were happening in real life and we were strangers who met? But to say it just once, to put a name to the face that was in my thoughts every day. Hey.
Whoa, don't look so sad. You ruined that pretty face.
Before I could say his name, he stopped me, but his words were soft and kind. Seriously, it would have been natural to ask his name if you were having a conversation like that.
Who knows? Maybe fate will let us meet again someday.
Finally, he stood and began to walk. Just as he passed me, I heard him whisper.
I don't remember when, but I think a while ago I asked if Sunday I could see you in a kimono. I guess today was the day, huh? Thanks, Chizuru.
But sorry, you weren't the only one like you asked. Yeah, see you later. Then we were past one another, walking slowly but inexorably away. As I watched Heisuke's back growing smaller, I felt someone approach me from behind. Neither of them spoke, they just waited quietly. It was kind of them, and I smiled. Thank you, both of you.
Sorry, but I don't know what you're thanking me for.
For taking me on this mission, for bringing me here to see him.
This wasn't about you. We were hoping to learn about what the Guardians were doing from Todo. And we've done so. We should return before the sun goes down.
Without waiting for a response, Yamazaki set off at a brisk walk. Still, there was something in his tone that sounded much kinder than it usually did.
That's the official story, at least. He's worried about you and Todo, though. I am too, of course, and so is Hijikata. We approved this, mission after all.
I know, and that means a lot, really.
Now, let's get going before Yamazaki starts telling us off for being slow,
Okay. It seemed like everyone in the Shinsengumi was worried about me. They did so much, and I wasn't ever able to pay them back. Someday, though, I would. I repeated those words to myself and looked back at Heisuke one last time. Aw, that was so sweet of them. It was the guise of finding out information, but, they really did it because both Heisuke and I were sad and just give us some time together. That was really sweet of everybody. I can't wait to have the scenes with Yamazaki and Sanan and Nagakura. That's going to be really interesting. Well, anyway, next episode should be Heisuke episodes 4 and 5. Why are his episodes so long compared to the other guys, it feels like? I wanted long episodes for Kazuma, and extra ones at that. Well, anyway, hope to see you in that next episode, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.